as I stand here once again in the Wrestling Sucks But I Love It shirt, that normally means one thing. That being that I finished a wrestling pay-per-view and it's time for the review. Bad news, I didn't finish the pay-per-view. I believe there are 20 minutes remaining, 15, 20 something of that nature. I had to record now because I had a thought that crossed my mind and it could not wait. So, I am watching Steve Austin in the main event of WrestleMania. He is getting physical with Kevin Owens, two guys that I have fondness for. I love Kevin Owens, love Steve Austin. So I'm asking myself, why don't I feel anything? And it occurs to me, nostalgia isn't my drug. I've heard people say in the past that nostalgia is a powerful drug. It is what fuels Vince McMahon's company is nostalgia. That's why he brings back Goldberg and why he always goes to the crutch of The Undertaker at WrestleMania, so forth and so on. I realized while trying to finish the show, which I will, I'll go back and finish it, but there's no surprise. There's no mystery, there's no surprise, there's no growth in the drug of nostalgia. When it comes to nostalgia, it's the same. It's the hits, if you will. And when I had the thought that crossed my mind of why I'm not feeling anything for this Steve Austin, Kevin Owens main event, it also brought clarity to why when I heard adrenaline in my soul, and how that when Cody Rhodes came out and subsequently won, I did feel something. Because the thing that fuels me and my interest, not just my interest, it's not my interest in the product that is fueled by this one specific word, but it's everything to me that is fueled by this word. It is the whole reason for the channel. It's the reason for what I'm trying to achieve, and that word is hope. So I'm not fueled by nostalgia. I'm not looking back, I'm looking forward. So while I'm pleased that Steve Austin was able to go out, even though, let's be real, he went out on his terms when he went out because it wasn't a sad moment. It wasn't, oh, if you lose, you're gone. No, he just understood. So to say that he's going out on his terms this time in his hometown, however you want to look at it, nostalgia isn't what fuels me. Hope is. Hope that this video will get viewed by all of your friends. If you're watching this, send it to them, because your friends need to know that Gamble Comics, they need to know that I'm betting on myself, and I need them to take the chance on Gamble Comics. So, again, it's not just wrestling, but hope that in the second launch for the new cover of Everlasting Survivors from Gamble Comics will do better. I do have hope. Hope that after the second launch, not just with the Jeff Hicks cover that I just showed, but the Fabri Ferdinand cover, and the fact that this beautiful artist work is going to be featured from this point forward. No knock on Jeff, it's just that he's a busy man and doing his own thing. It's just nice to have the awakening, to understand, which I knew but didn't think about. What and why. What motivates and why things don't hit or why things don't land. So, good job, Steve. Good job, Kevin. Not for me. It also helps underline and make me understand why, when I'm taking notes about the biggest show of the year, what should be the biggest show of the year, why I take a note on multiple pages asking Am I even still a fan of WWE? Why do I miss AEW? These questions cross my mind because that promotion, I feel, and is illustrated right now. Not only do I feel it, but it's illustrated right now. When every champion is a homegrown champion. It is based around hope and desire and the fact that we're not looking backward, we're looking forward, we're going to make our own way. So, again, when it comes to hope and success, Everlasting Survivors, All Day Long, Volume 1. 2 covers, limited quantities, available at Etsy.com. So, now that I got out why, or my understanding for why, that the main event didn't hit for me, let's go over the rest of the card. And honestly, with this perspective, it really helps bring everything into view. And why that I have feelings that I do, I'm like, because while I was watching it, I didn't quite get it, but when I got to that main event, I was like, that makes it all make sense to me. So, what is the name of this show? It is WrestleMania. What do we not get for the first 16 minutes? Wrestling. So Vince McMahon. First note, I prefer a wrestling show to open with wrestling. So I get that WrestleMania always has the singer person singing the song. Fine. But it doesn't have to take 16 minutes. You don't have to go from a song to an actor to, what was the next thing? Oh, a tag team being sponsored by Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's like, this show is chock full of commercials. Mike's Hard Lemonade, DraftKings, Snickers. I canceled TV for a reason. I don't need commercials, and I certainly don't want to be paying for them. So, after waiting 16 minutes, the first match starts. It wasn't great. If you're doing stars, 3 max, 2.5, whatever. Usos go over. Booze gets hurt. It wasn't a very good match. So, they're wasting more time, more commercials, more crap. Then comes, now we're 35 minutes deep into this thing. Drew McIntyre versus Corbin. The match goes way too long. Nothing happens. It's just a bunch of... It should have been a squash match. Freaking... in my opinion, McIntyre should have went for a Claymore, missed. Corbin goes for a deep six, or hits the deep six, kick out, picks him up, end of days, kick out, shock face. After shock face, that's when you have Moss get on the apron like he does in the real match. Corbin gets distracted, Claymore, 1, 2, 3. Then post match, Drew uses the sword and cuts the ring ropes, which literally all that told me is, great, we're going to have to wait a while before the next dang match because they got to replace the ropes. So we, again, get a bunch more wasted time. So, it did not open strong, and by the end, I wasn't happy either. But there's some good stuff in the middle. I promise it's worth sticking around because, yeah. So, yeah, more commercials. Great, thanks. Didn't need that crap. But here's the first, like, real bright side of the night. In my personal view, Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic come out, and Dom is dressed. The first thing I thought was Art Barr. When I saw him, I said, oh man, this is a tribute to Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr back when they were a tag team. Great attire, and Rey had the mirroring Mexican version of the attire. Cool stuff. Then comes Miz. Miz looks great, as always. He's star power. And then Logan Paul comes out, and I was like, my goodness. So I know of Logan Paul. I don't really know Logan. It's not like I've ever sought him out for anything. But when I saw that guy, I was like, this guy actually looks like he could be a star. And then when they all get in the ring, he's the biggest dude there. And Miz ain't small. It was strange. So, pleasantly surprised, I'll say. Miz wins, turns on Paul. I don't know if they're. I mean, I guess they're trying to turn him babyface, which implies that he's staying. I don't hate it. I mean, he did a really good job. Looked like, yeah, he looked good. Yeah, it was. It, yeah, it was. It was strange. I mean, Paul got really good heat, doing all the Eddie Guerrero spots, Three Migos, the shimmy shake, going for a frog splash. Yeah, it was weird, but good. So a pleasant surprise. Um, Next up was the Raw Women's Championship. Becky and Bianca both had elongated entrances. I thought Becky's was superior. I thought Bianca's musical entrance was very reminiscent of a John Cena entrance. I also didn't like with the marching band. So, but after the entrances, match was great. Right finish. Yeah, it was good. So, like I said, if Usos got 2.5, and if McIntyre and Corbin got 2, then the tag match I'd say 3. That's a fine, and Becky Bianca probably 4. But next up was 100% what I had the most anticipation for and delivered. So Rollins comes out, looks weird as hell, but whatever. He's pretty much known for that over the last year. Standing in the ring, lights go down, and we hear that wrestling has more than one royal family. And again, to go back to the open of this video, it just proves that there is hope for the future. You don't always have to look to the past. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Cody's never been in the company, but what I'm saying is he's never been treated in this company as a star. Do that, and who knows what can happen. I'm not saying it'll be the next Steve Austin boom, but the fact is that Vince has to make choices. The company has to make choices to treat people like stars, because if you don't treat them like stars, people won't see them as stars. And you'll have to go back to that drug of nostalgia that doesn't hit for everyone. So, great match. The right person won. Cody Rhodes went over, and immediately I thought, I want them to strap this guy up. Put the title on him. It was, without a doubt, excellent. Cody, that's the worst part. If Vince would have gotten it through his head, he could have had this the whole time. They're like, oh, he's gone 6 years. He didn't have to be. Why was he gone 6 years? He was gone 6 years because you made him Stardust. So, anyway, he's back. It's great. Love Cody Rhodes. And more importantly, I love hope. I love having hope that wrestling and everything can be good, can be successful, and can pave a new path. That's wonderful. Thank you. After Rollins and Cody, we go into Charlotte and Ronda. I've never been into Ronda. Maybe it's because I'm not an MMA guy, and I just feel like Charlotte, while good, it's not for me. Like, if it was up to me, I would have flip-flopped Bianca and Becky and Charlotte and Ronda, because I was more invested in that storyline and those characters. I was surprised, but not unpleasantly surprised that Charlotte went over. That was fine. Yeah, it was fine. The match was 3 stars. I think of all of the matches, it's probably the best, on par with Cody and Rollins. But the reason I prefer Rhodes and Rollins is because I feel like it gives me something to look forward to, whereas Charlotte and Ronda, I don't know. It is what it is. So, now we come right back to where we began in that opening, or the closing segment, the opening of this video, which is Kevin Owens and Steve Austin. Happy for you, Steve. Definitely happy for you, Kevin. I'm glad you guys had a good time. I'll go finish it, but there's no mystery to it. There's no hope. There's no driving force to bring me back to the next. Well, not the next night. The next night is Mania again tonight. But what I mean is going backwards and putting Steve Austin on a pedestal is no way to get people to tune in to Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, NXT, anything of that nature. So I'm glad that people in Texas were happy, I guess. And I'm glad that Steve and Kevin are happy. But I think that the problem is there's nothing for me to look forward to in your product when you keep looking backwards. So please fix that. Yeah, that was my review of WrestleMania, the stupendous night one. Yeah, thanks for watching.